I'm going to show you how to make these mushrooms. I've been working on mushrooms for a while now. I made several different kinds of mushrooms, but I think I kind of settled on this one. I think this is my favorite one. My favorite ones here. Uh, yeah, I like this one. I actually just made this one a few minutes ago. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make these sorry, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make these mushrooms, okay? I don't know if you think of them as fall decor, but I kind of do. So, in order to make those lovely mushrooms, you're going to need two yarns, two different color yarns. Try and make them the same size. This orange one I'm using is a little bit thinner, so I'm going to double strand it, and I'm going to show you how that works. So you're going to need some yarn. I'm going to start with the orange one. I'm going to reverse this one actually. I'm going to make the stem in orange and the top in pink. Okay, so you need some yarn. You're going to need some stuffing. You're going to need a crochet hook. You're going to need a sewing needle, some scissors, and stitch markers if you like. It's always a good idea to have stitch markers around because you never know. I don't usually need stitch markers when I'm making something so small, but as a beginner, you might need some stitch markers to help you keep count. And there's no shame in that. I'm just a little lazy, so I don't want to use them. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on making the mushrooms. So these are the mushrooms that we're going to make right here. So we're going to start off with a wide bottom, narrow it out a little bit, work up here, and then we're going to go back and make the cap and attach it. Okay, all right, so let's get started. So this yarn is a little bit thinner, so I have it in a ball here. So I have it wound in a ball. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull from the middle and the outside. That is a great way to double strand your yarn. If you have two skeins, you can go ahead and pull from the center of each, but if you don't, go ahead and pull from the center and the outside. And just make sure that when you start, they are both even. And then you can go ahead and get started. Magic loop. I'm going to put the yarn tail down here around these two fingers, wrap it around and hold it like that, and put my hook under and grab it, and that's how you make your magic loop. Okay, and we are going to start on the bottom right here. So I'm going to put 6 single crochets into this magic loop. So this first one is going to count as 1. I'm going to chain 1. I could chain 2. Let me chain 2. It might make it easier for me to see. I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to make 5 more because this one's going to count as 1. So I'm going to make 5 more single crochets. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull my magic loop closed. Now I don't recommend, if you're a very beginner, for you to go ahead and use 2 strands like I am, because it could get confusing. So just go ahead and pick the correct weight that you want. But I just really love this color, so this is why I'm doing that. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and close my first round. I'm going to take my hook, I'm going to look for that first stitch, and I'm going to insert my hook under the 2 legs of the V and do a slip stitch, yarn over, pull it through, and pull it through. Okay, and now I have completed that. I've completed my circle. Now I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each one around. So that means I should have 6 single crochets when I'm done. Okay, so I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to chain 2. and that's going to count as my first single crochet. And then I'm going to insert my hook here under both legs of this V, yarn over, pull it through, and make my second one. Here's 2, and go all the way around. 3, 4, and 5, and one more. Okay, and then we have the 6th one right here. Okay, so this is my second round, and I'm going to go ahead and push that in. So that's the part that's right here. I'm going to go ahead and do a slip stitch to complete this row here. All right, and here we go. That's my first, actually my second round. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 double crochets in each stitch around. Okay, so I'm going to do a chain 2, 1, 2, and then I'm going to put another single crochet right in that same stitch. Okay, single crochet right in here. So that's 2, and then I'm going to put 2 in each single crochet all the way around, and I'm going to meet you at the end of the round. Okay, all right, I'll see you at the end. Okay, so this is the next round. We've completed that round, so this is round 3. So in order to finish it off, we're going to go ahead and slip stitch it. So we should have, here we go, this is the next round. So I'm going to go ahead and do 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So this is round 1, round 2, round 3. So for round 4, we're just going to single crochet in every stitch around. Okay, so we're going to start off with a chain 2, 1, 2. That's going to count as the first one. Then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to single crochet all the way around. Okay, and I'm going to meet you at the end of this round. Okay, single crochet all the way around. See you at the end. Okay, so here we are. We're at the last stitch. I'm going to see how it's curling. So I'm going to push it that way so that we're working on the outside of the circle. And I'm going to single crochet in that last stitch there and join it with a slip stitch here. Right there. Okay, slip stitch. Yep. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do 2 more rounds. 2 more rounds, okay, of single crochet. Okay, and I will meet you at the end. Do 2 more rounds. Okay, all right, I will see you when we're done with that. Okay, remember, you're going to chain 2, you're going to skip that one, and you're going to begin your single crochet. You're going to begin your single crochet in here. Okay, I'll see you at the end of 2 more rounds. Okay, so I did 2 more rounds. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 rows. Okay, and then yeah, I live near a train. So we're at the wide part here, so I'm going to start to narrow it out for this part here. Okay, so we're at the wide part and we're going to start narrowing it out. And the way I got this to curve was by the way I stuffed it. Okay, so we're going to start decreasing it. Let me go ahead and finish this. I have 2 more to do. Here's 1 and here's 2. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start decreasing it to get that narrow, to get these narrow parts right in here. Okay, all right, so let's go. I'm going to show you how to do a decrease. You're going to insert your hook into let's try this way. We're going to insert the hook underneath that stitch, And you're going to take your hook and insert it underneath that stitch. Looks like you have 3 loops on there. Then you're going to yarn over and pull it through those 2 and complete your single crochet. Give it a tug. I'm going to show you that again, okay? So we decreased. So we had 2 stitches and now we're going to have 1. So let's try that again. I'm going to insert my hook. I'm going to insert my hook underneath. I'm going to insert my hook underneath this stitch here. Insert my hook underneath this stitch here. So we're going to try that again, okay? Okay. I'm going to insert my hook underneath in the middle of the V right there. Insert my hook underneath the middle of the V. So it looks like I have 3 loops. I'm going to yarn over and pull it through those 2 loops there. And then I'm going to complete my single crochet stitch. And then you're going to do that all the way around, okay? I'm going to do one more, insert it underneath. Yeah, pull it in, insert it underneath. Yarn over, pull it through those 2, and then yarn over and complete my single crochet. Okay? So we're just going to do that all the way around. As a matter of fact, let me do another one. Yep. And complete your single crochet. And I think I'm going to do 1. Sorry about that. I'm going to try 1 more. Nope. Under. And under. And pull it through. And then complete your single crochet. So you see how it's getting narrower? Okay, so you should stop about now. We should have done this before we started decreasing. Shove your yarn in there and go ahead and grab some of that stuffing. I'm going to stuff this in there. Like I said, I should have stuffed it in there before I started decreasing. I'm going to put a little bit more in there. I think that's enough. Okay. That looks good. You can push that in, give it a little flat bottom there. Maybe a little bit more. So this is something that you're going to work out how you want it shaped and how dense you want it, if you want it more floppy. Okay. So I don't have any, but the next ones I was going to experiment with putting something a little bit heavy on the bottom to make them stand up. Something like some dried beans, or those marbles that you use in the bottom of the fish tank. Go ahead and put them in the bottom before you put the stuffing in, to see if it'll stop it from flopping over, if it'll help it stand better. If you try that, let me know in the comments if that actually worked. I haven't had the opportunity to try it yet, so I would be curious to know how that worked out for you. Okay, so I think, yeah, I'm going to make another decrease now. Okay, so I'm going to take I'm going to see which 2 I decreased. Okay, I'm going to put my hook under here. Put my hook under there. I think this is the last decrease. So it looks like I have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull it through 2. Yarn over and complete my single crochet and give it a little bit of a tug. Yeah, that's the last decrease. Yeah, because I don't want to close it off. I just want to make that narrow in there. And then you know what? We're going to go ahead and just single crochet in every stitch around. Okay, just single crochet in every stitch around. Okay, And I want you to go ahead and do that. I'm no longer joining them. I'm just crocheting in a spiral. And you can go ahead and do that until it reaches the length of stem you want. Okay. And if you would like, yeah, so just go ahead and crochet. You see that? So now we're doing this narrow piece here. And it doesn't look as narrow as because I stuffed it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to meet you after I have the length that I want. Okay, I'll see you at the end of a few rows, of a few rounds. Okay, so I think I have how many? One, two, three, maybe 3 rounds of this narrow top here. Now, if you want, you can, remember, make this longer. You can go ahead and put a little bit of stuffing in there. It may not be that easy. But it can be done. Okay. I'm going to add some stuffing in here. If you can get it in there with your fingers, you can go ahead and use your crochet hook. Just be very careful. There you go. Here we go. I want mine flat, so I'm going to make sure that I'm moving my yarn around. I'm sorry. I want mine a little flat on the bottom, so I'm going to make sure I'm moving my stuffing about. Okay, so now it's about the however long you want it. This is 5. I think I might have done 6 on these, but this is fine. I can stop there. And so now we're going to go back to increasing. So we decreased, and now we're going to increase. Okay, so to increase, all you have to do is to do 2 single crochets in every stitch all the way around. So that's 2. There's 1. That's 2. There's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let me see what we have here. Okay, so you see how it's starting to increase. Okay, so let's go ahead and do another round where you are doing 2 single crochets in each stitch. Just do that again, another round. Remember, we're not joining, we're just doing a spiral. So just keep doing it all the way around. And some people have to be precise and have that count. I don't. I just keep doing it until it looks like the size that I want. So I'm going to keep going. You see how it's starting to get wider? So we're doing this under part here. Right here. That's the part that we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and 2 double crochets and just keep going around. What's going to happen is the larger you make it, the more uneven it's going to look. But that's how it is in nature, right? It's not even. It's not going to be precise. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to stop this portion here, but I'm not going to cut it off because I might need to make adjustments. So I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to put it to the side, and we're going to start this top portion here. So for the top portion, I'm going to use this pink, and I don't have to double strand this one because this one is thick enough. So sometimes when I ball up my yarns, I like to take the papers that come on it and insert it into the center so that I can remember what yarn it is. This is Eversoft yarn. Okay, so I'm gonna put this aside so that I can put it back in there when I'm done with it. And you can pull from the outside or the inside. It doesn't really make a difference. And I'm gonna put this off to the side. And we're going to go ahead, so we're working on the top now, so I'm going to make my magic loop there. I love Eversoft. It is so soft, it really is. Okay, so I'm going to do a chain 2, and then we're going to do 5 more single crochets. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'm going to tighten it. And double check, okay. And then we're going to, so that should be 6 because that first chain 2 counted as 1. So, and we made 5, so that should be a total of 6. So I'm going to find that first one, and I'm going to close it with a slip stitch. We're going to finish the round with a slip stitch. My goodness, that's tiny. Okay, so that is very tiny. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 1 single crochet in every one of those 6 stitches, right? But I kind of like this little ridge. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, this little ridge here on the top. Can you see it? So what we're going to do is we're going to do it in the back stitches only. So I'm going to chain 2. That's going to count as the first one. So I'm going to skip that one there. Okay, and we're going to go into the next one, and I'm going to single crochet in that back loop only, all the way around. Okay, so I will meet you at the end of the round. Okay. Okay, so we have completed that. So that's going to make that little bumpy thing right here. You see that little bumpy thing? Okay. And now we are going to chain 2. Sorry. And we're going to chain 2. And we are going to do 2 single crochets in every stitch around. So this counts as 1. So I'm going to do a single crochet in here. And this time go through both loops, okay? And we're going to do 2 in each one. It might be hard. I tightened it, so I'm having trouble finding both those legs of the V. Remember to go under both legs of the V. And here is 1 single crochet, and here is another single crochet. Okay, now let's go on to the next one. Wow. I'm having trouble. Okay, let me fold it out now. Let's look for the next one. Yep, and here we go. So by putting 2 single crochets in every stitch, we are now increasing it. Okay, here's the next one. Here's 1, here's 2. Okay, the next one, here's 1, here's 2. So although I love this yarn, it's not really the best for what I'm doing here. Yeah, so you know, live and learn, right? So just pay attention to your yarn choices. If you're struggling to see the stitches, or the stitches don't look as pretty as you want, it may not be you. It could possibly be the yarn. So then you have the decision of continuing to work with the yarn, or try a different kind of yarn and see if you get different results. Okay, so yeah, this is not working exactly the way I want, but I'm going to continue because I want to show you how to do this. So, but I am having some difficulty seeing the stitches, and I really don't like how they're looking. Okay. All right, so let's do one more, and we have the double. As you can see, I'm having some trouble. Okay, there you go. And one more. Yeah, one more. Yeah, one more here. All right. There you go. So that's this part here. So now we're going to go ahead and do another round, and we're going to double crochet in each stitch around again. But this time don't join, just continue, do it in a continuous round. Okay, don't join around, just do 2 single crochets in every stitch around. And I want you to go ahead and continue to do that for another, I'm not even sure. Let's see. Yeah, you see, I'm having a lot of trouble with this yarn. Again, I want you to understand. You know why I didn't change the yarn? I want you to see. It's not always you. Sometimes it's the yarn. Sometimes it's the hook. Okay, so just keep going until it's about the size of this. So if you want to know how many that is, let me see. What do we have here? Let's count this. So we have 1, 2. Okay, so we should have, let's measure it and see. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do one more round. You see how when you put it in the center, you have like another round here? So I'm going to do another round of this, and I'm going to meet you at the end. Okay, so I have crocheted a few more rounds. Again, I'm not giving you precise numbers, just guesstimates. And that looks about right. Okay. Yeah. I like the way that looks. Okay, so this is a good size. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this off. Okay. Here we go. Insert it, and I'm going to go ahead and pull it through. Okay, yes. All right, and then I'm just going to go ahead and shove the tail in there. So as you can see, I'm just pushing it over to the side because I think I want my mushroom to lean a little bit. So I'm going to take care of that right now, okay, before we complete it. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and attach this. Again, I'm going to reiterate, I'm not happy with the way this looks. This was not a good yarn choice, but I'm going to keep going because I want you to see how it looks. So remember, so if you're going to attach these, see, this is where I cut off the bottom part. Do not attach it at the same part because you're going to have a really noticeable lump. If you put it somewhere else, it's not going to be as noticeable, okay? So you can take a sewing needle, you can take this here and cut a piece you want and then sew it on to the bottom, okay? I don't like to do that. I like this wavy thing here. I think it looks really cool. If you want, you can actually add some more stuffing in here to make the bump a little bit higher. That's up to you. Let me go ahead and try that and see what happens, you know, because we're working on these things together. It's trial and error. Let's see what works and let's see what doesn't. So I'm going to go ahead and try and stuff that. Put some stuffing in there. Okay, and so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to insert my hook under both legs of the V of the next stitch, and I'm going to insert it into the front loop of the bottom one. See that? And I'm going to pull it through, and I'm going to complete my single crochet. Okay, If you don't want to add stuffing, you absolutely do not have to add stuffing. That might make it more difficult, more fiddly for you. Or maybe you don't have to add the stuffing just yet. Maybe add it later on. Let's see what happens when we do that. Let me take this out. And I will add the stuffing before I close the hole up. How's that? Let's try that. So I'm going to insert my hook through both legs of the V here and through one leg here. Pull it through, complete my single crochet. Both legs of the V, one leg there, complete my single crochet. I'm going to try one more. I'm going to go into my next stitch here on the one there and complete. So what that's going to do is that's going to give you this ridge on the bottom. So I'm going to do a few more and I will meet you before we close up this circle. Okay, so I did a few more. I have a hole here, so now I can add my stuffing. That might make it easier to work with. Again, you can make it as stuffed or as unstuffed as you like it. So if you have more stitches on the top than you do on the bottom, you can go ahead and skip. You can do every other one here. Okay, because they're different yarns, thicknesses, that might happen. And so I'm going to do every other one, not every one. Okay, and I'm just going to finish up my circle. This isn't a precise thing. This is all kind of like a free-form thing. Just because you're a beginner doesn't mean that you can't try to make this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. Let me count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And you know, okay, so I'm going to meet you after I have completed the attachment here. Okay. Okay, so I have completed this. I want to make this a little bit bigger, so I'm going to go ahead and make another round of single crochet. That's just my personal taste. If you like the way it came out, you can go ahead and stop it right here, right now. But I'm going to go and do another round of single crochets in each one. Okay, so I went ahead and did another row of single crochet around, and I like that much better. Okay, this is art. This is not precision. This is not a garment. We're not making a garment. We're making art pieces. Okay, so here I didn't need to do that because I was using a thicker yarn. This is a thinner yarn, so I needed to go ahead and make another round of single crochet all the way around. Okay, and I like it much better. So I'm going to do a slip knot and a slip stitch and finish off that. And I want to show you one more thing. This is totally optional. Okay, so when you're forming them, you know, oh, I really rather like that. You see, you can form them however you like. Okay, this is cool. I like this one. This one looks different than that one. Okay, and then there you go. So then you can take your hook, you can take your needle, go ahead and thread it. Insert it maybe here, maybe into that last stitch that you completed. Put it in there, and then put the needle through like that. Pull it through, and then just cut it. And then you have your mushroom. So you can just mold it the way you like. And there you go. You have your mushroom. Okay? Yeah, I hope you like that. So, yeah, just remember, it depends on your yarn and your hook. And this is absolutely free form. if you would like some precise numbers, let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can help you out. Okay, if you have questions, okay, let me know what you did. Yeah, write down in the comments. Let me know if you what yarns you used, what hooks you used, because the yarn is going to make it different. The hook sizes are going to make it different. So many variations. No two mushrooms will look alike, and that's what I like about them, because they're natural. By the way, making all of these things makes me very thirsty. I love coffee, so if you would like to help me out, you can go ahead and buy me a coffee as well. The link is going to be down below in the subscription. The more coffee I can have, the more of these I can make, because I'll have that energy. Okay, well, again, thanks a lot for hanging out with me. I hope you had fun making those mushrooms. I got a few other things up my sleeve that I would like to help you out and make for the fall, okay? And I'll see you next time, okay? Te veo. Bye.